Hello and welcome to HCS Connects. I'm Kelly Gorel with Hampton City Schools. Today we've got a great show ahead of us as we're going to talk about our out of school time programming with Karen Johnson and Jennifer Richardson. So welcome to HCS Connects, ladies.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know you're so excited to be here. I can see the thank you. So we're going to breathe and have a good show ahead of us. I know everybody loves to be on TV or on YouTube, but out of school time, it's not really that we're out of school. It's just instruction that's happening not during the instructional day. So we're going to get into what all that means. But before we do, I'd love both of you to introduce yourselves because you're newer to the positions this year, but not new to Hampton City Schools. So Karen, let's start with you.
Well, yes, not new to Hampton City Schools. I've been with Hampton since 2012. I began my educational career as an assistant principal at Tyler, which is now Mary Peak, and then an assistant principalship at Machen, and then most recently serving as the proud principal of Barron for the last 6 years before I came into this position.
As coordinator, correct, for out of school time coordinator?
Correct, yes.
So you came to Hampton in 2012, you said, but how many years do you have experience in education?
This is my 30th year.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you for your dedication.
Yes,
That's
thank
wonderful.
you. I look great, don't I?
You do. I would never have, well, 30 years, yes, as far as, you know, your knowledge and experience, but I would not say 30 years based off of.
I love the field of education. Love it.
Where did you start before Hampton?
I was in Newport News.
And what did you do there?
Well, few things. I began as a classroom teacher at Achievable Dream.
Okay.
And then from there became a reading recovery teacher. Reading is my one great love. And after reading recovery, I transitioned to a reading interventionist at Carver. So, and then from Carver came to Hampton.
Well, it's kind of full circle too once we get into the out of school programming and, you know, that being your passion, reading, because that programming is more for kind of interventions and enrichment for students. So kind of full circle for you.
It is. My partner here, Jen, we always are looking at the curriculum and instruction and how we can improve it for our young people.
That's excellent. So Jen, how about you? Again, not new to Hampton City Schools, just new to that assistant coordinator position this year. So tell us your background.
This is my 27th year in Hampton City Schools. I started my education career here in Hampton.
Oh.
I was a 5th grade teacher at Merrimack for 15 years. I spent the last 11 years as a math support specialist at a number of different elementary schools, and now this is my first year as the assistant coordinator alongside Karen.
Well, excellent. So a Hamptonian at heart. You don't live in Hampton, but you've been with Hampton now for that long.
That is correct. I've lived on the other side of the water the entire time, 27 years, and I've made that commute because of my passion and love for Hampton City Schools.
That's amazing. I make that commute as well. It's not an easy commute.
Not an easy one, but worth it coming here.
Worth it coming here, absolutely. So Karen, back to you. Tell us about what is out of school time?
Well, I look at it as an instructional program, but the great thing about the out of school time is we can do instruction and we can do the curriculum in a different way. What we always say is our young people are in school during the day, but in the afternoon we have things such as enrichment opportunities, and we have a curriculum that affords kids to do things, to learn in a different way. We expose them to different things, and they don't realize they're learning, but they are. And so with the enrichment program and with the curriculum that we are bringing forth, we really look to do things in a different way for young people that's new and exciting.
So how does that work? And I'll switch to you, Jen. Like, how does that work? Like, do all of our schools participate in this, or is this our Title I schools? Like, do they have specific names? Just kind of give us a little high level of how does
That's a great question. We have 22 schools total. We have 8 21st century schools, and then we have 14 university corner schools, and that is it's funded under the ESSER funds. And we have 3 middle schools out of that 22. The rest are elementary school.
Okay, so it's either broken up into 21st century or university corner. 22, I mean, we've got 32 schools and centers, so the majority of our schools are participating in this out of school time programming.
That's correct.
So how does that work? Do students just sign up? Are they invited? how do parents like get their children involved in this?
Well, our site coordinators, we have 2 site coordinators that serve in every building, and our site coordinators are key in the recruitment process for these young people. And so what we utilize is the Hampton City Schools risk list, which is something that all building personnel, building administrators have, and it kind of pinpoints the kids that would benefit from a little extra instruction. And so utilizing that risk list, we invite those kids first, and then we expand from there. But basically it's our young people that we feel could use a little extra, and sometimes kids who demonstrate, I really could learn if I was shown it in a different way.
So do they meet like Monday through Friday? Is it an everyday after school type of program? How many hours?
Well, our University Corner program runs 3 days a week.
Okay.
And our 21st Century program runs 3 days a week, and our University Corner program runs 2 days a week.
Okay.
And it really kind of depends on the school hours. But really our young people participate in the after-school instructional programming between 2 and 3 hours after school.
Excellent. And besides just what's happening after school, either 2 or 3 times a week, depending on the specifics of the program in the school, there's some really cool division-wide events that you all have done fall and winter. So tell us a little bit about those.
In the fall, we had our first major event, which was called Lights On After School, and that is a nationwide event that we participated in, and that is sponsored by the After School Alliance, and they shine a light on after-school programming and the importance of after-school programming. All of our sites participated. They all invited parents, community members in to showcase the great things that we're doing at our sites after school. We were even fortunate to have some of our landmarks in Hampton lit up to show the importance and to highlight the after-school programming in Hampton City Schools.
And I had the opportunity to actually visit one of our elementary schools. I think I went to Bryan for the light up after school. They had a lot going on because they also had like a trunk or treat they were preparing for. They had that, so it was all kind of partying going on. It was great.
Yes.
But when you said those landmarks, like I'm pretty sure we had the Virginia Air and Space Science Center light up. We also had City Hall light up and the Convention Center. So it really shows that community piece that's there with the school division.
Absolutely.
So that was in the fall. Tell us what happened this past winter.
We've had several events since then. One of the things that we do, we have 5-week sessions, and we have 5 of those. And at the end of each, we have a culminating activity or experience. And we also invite parents and other community members in to showcase what we're doing after school. In addition to that, we have partnered with the Virginia Air and Space Center, and we are, they're offering 3 Saturdays this spring, STEM activities. It's a community day, and our students have been invited to go. We had a great participation for the first one. We had over 400 or close to 400 families and
Oh,
students.
wow.
197.
And we just had one in March, and they highlight different things like women in science or aviation, so that's been a great partnership. One of our things that we're most proud of is we had Hampton 101, which is a program by the City of Hampton, and they came and dropped in and visited Tarrant, and they came to see what we're doing for enrichment programs. And it was really neat to show this community members what's going on after school.
And Hampton 101, I'll kind of elaborate a little bit more about that. That's been a standing program with the City of Hampton, where I believe citizens can sign up to go on Hampton 101, business partners, and they just learn about the City of Hampton. And I think, I know that in the past, like we've had our superintendent or our assistant superintendent or our director of community relations present. You know, we've always been included, but we've never been a part of the tour as far as a stop. So this past time was, extra special because they got to stop at one of our schools, and they were actually able to engage with students and staff members to see the great things that are going on in Hampton City Schools. So that was really a highlight.
And it was interesting because we set up chairs for them to, just observe what our students were doing, and they actually got right on in there and did the activities with the students because they were so engaged, which was really, special to us that they wanted to do it with our kiddos.
Yeah, they could not believe that kids were doing these kind of activities and enrichment.
So what can you share what kind of activity they might have been doing at Hampton 101?
Well, they did. So one activity was with Flying Classroom, and they built a hydroponics kit. And so,
Oh, wow.
yes, and so they had Flying Classroom on the screen, but then we also had a in-house science teacher who was working with the kids, and the community got involved in working with the kids and building that. In another classroom, it was Tasty Education. And so the kids got to make and drink a smoothie along with the community, and they saw that. And then in another area in the gym, it was sports science. And
cool.
Yes, that was really cool. And so I know the community group that I was traveling with, where they were like, what is the name of this game and how can we do this? And this is so neat because it taught the kids, it wasn't just physical activity, it was strategizing and thinking about how you were going to build up your thing to ensure that your little component stayed upright while you knocked down the other one. And so it was team building and all of that together.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was.
That is really, really cool. Explain the Flying Classroom. You said the Flying Classroom. Some people don't realize, what is the Flying Classroom?
Well, the Flying Classroom is headed by Captain Barrington Irving. Yes, I got to get his wonderful name out. And really what he does is he goes on these different adventures, and all of them are related to STEM. So it has to do with ecology or aviation or the environment, natural selection, birds, a whole bunch of different things. And he has different lessons for each activity, and he presents, shows a video, and the kids create, I guess
They end up with a project at the end, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Well, and we've been collaborating with him for several years now. I know I've been with Hampton City Schools for 6 years, and I feel like he's been a part of our family for that amount of time, if not longer. I do remember standing with the both of you this past summer on a very hot day out at one of our pre-K through 8 schools where they were racing go-karts. But that was also part of 21st century out of school time and captain and the captain, right?
And that was actually our culminating activity for the end of summer school. And so what the middle school students did in the 21st century program is Captain Irving provided just the frame of the solar racer, and the middle school students put that together. They put the wheels on, the engine in, the solar panels and everything. And at the end, they were able to drive it and race it. And probably the best thing that I thought was our even smaller people got to come out and see that. So they got to see middle school students who had put together a car, basically, and they got to see them drive it. And so one of the things, the extra little people, they were asking, oh, can I do that? Can I do that? Yes, you absolutely can. And so this is something that Hampton offers to our kids. And how great is that at the end of the summer, you get to drive, especially middle school drivers, you get to drive a car that you put together.
Well, and you know, the big people came out too.
Yes.
And the big people wanted to know, how can I do that? And weren't told not to wear heels or dresses so that they weren't able to get in the car, but I know our superintendent did. So if that's happening again this summer, a big person would like to know, how do I do that?
Well, you're in luck because it's going to happen again this
Yes,
summer.
it is.
There you go. So talking about the summer, what other things are coming up as far as plans for the remainder of the school year?
So we are finishing up our programming. We have one more session, and then we do have our summer program, which lasts 5 weeks, and we'll have all kinds of exciting things like that solar go-kart build, and lots of other things, lots of other enriching activities that the kiddos will be able to do.
What about, and this may not be in your lane, and I apologize if it's not, but it just kind of hit me, summer stream. Does that fall under out of school time?
It used to be called Summer Stream, and
Okay.
it's our program, and it's just, we still do that. It's just, we're just calling it 21st Century. But it's just highlighting STEM and reading and Can you help me out
Math.
with
Math. Yes.
Drawing a blank.
So basically, I mean, we've used
In engineering.
In engineering. So we've used different kind of buzzwords throughout the last several years between out of school time, 21st century programming, summer stream, university corner. What else am I missing? Am I missing anything else that's been called? Okay, so basically it all falls under what you all ladies oversee for the school division. Well, those are kind of big hats.
I think the big thing that the takeaway I want everyone to know is that, first of all, 21st Century is a competitive grant, and it's a grant that we apply for every 3 years. And with that grant, there's a lot of program requirements that we have to accomplish. But we feel like these program requirements aren't too daunting because it's things that's at the heart and goal of every educator. One of the program requirements for the 21st century is to ensure that young people are successful in not only state assessments, but actually local divisions assessments as well in the areas of reading and math. But because we're Hampton, we want young people to be successful in reading, math, science, and social studies. We want them to be successful.
Yes, we do.
In all content areas. So that's one of the program requirements. The other program requirement is that we provide enriching activities that accommodate, that align with what kids are doing during the day. And that makes sense to us. It makes sense for us to provide instructional programming that mirrors what our young people have seen during the 7.25 hours out of the day. And then the last program requirement that really is near and dear to our hearts as well is to provide those families an opportunity to learn and understand what our young people are learning during the school day. And so those three main program requirements of the 21st Century program is really what we adhere to. And our University Corner we're all doing the same thing. We want to provide these three tenets to all of our kids for Hampton City Schools because it just makes sense.
Well, and it doesn't just make sense. You do it in a great and fun way.
Yes.
Because of all the different projects that they're doing, that hands-on learning, they're having fun. And like you said earlier, they may not even realize they're learning.
And that's the goal.
I will say, as we kind of close up, both of you all are from elementary backgrounds, correct?
That's correct.
So you have a lot of fun to you. And even when coming down to our school administration center, I love walking through your hall because now it's like decorated and there are fun signs and there's a lot that you bring to that hallway and those departments around you to show that work can be fun and learning is fun. So I thank you both for your fun spirit because it has definitely shined through since you joining that building this summer. So.
Well, thank you for that, because we always talk about that. We were like, okay, are we doing the most? But it is. And really coming from the buildings where we've been with our extra little people, I mean, it is fun.
It is fun. Well, as we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to share with the viewing audience? No? No, you're just like, we're done. No.
No, our program is amazing, and what our colleagues, our coordinator colleagues and our teacher colleagues do for little people is amazing. So if you're ever in the area, please come by one of our, and pop in on one of our programs.
Excellent. Well, thank you both for being here today and sharing a little bit more about, what's going on, because I know that can be confusing for some people that just kind of see those buzzwords or really don't understand the meat and potatoes of it. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on HCS Connects. Remember, it's easy to stay connected.